Hey, real quick, before we dive into today's episode, if you've been feeling like your brand needs a little love, but you're not quite sure where to start, I have just the tool you need. The Standout Brand Audit Bot is an AI-powered guided audit that shows you exactly what's working, what's not, and how to strengthen your brand using my proven Standout brand system. In 10 minutes or less, you'll walk away with clear next steps to move your brand forward with purpose. It's completely free. Just head to the show notes to grab the link and get started. A big shift that I'm making in 2026 is that I am breaking up with business coaching. Don't freak out. This is not a business coach bashing episode by any means. I still believe in coaching when it's done right, with the right coach in the right season. And I've worked with incredible coaches who have supported me through massive life transitions. And I'm so grateful for that chapter. But lately, something has shifted. Every time that I brought a question to my coach the last few months, I realized that I already knew the answer. So instead of paying for reassurance or for somebody to hold my hand, I am jumping off the cliff and entering a season of self-trust and actually doing the work and redirecting that investment into some done-for-you support and peer-level community instead. So in today's episode, I'm breaking down why I'm making this shift and how I'm thinking about support differently going into 2026. Welcome to the Six Figure Brand Podcast, where each week we're pulling back the curtain on what it really takes to build a six-figure business as an online service provider. I'm your host, Morgan. I'm a branding expert, online agency owner, mom of two, and military spouse, and I'm obsessed with helping entrepreneurs like you understand the ins and outs of branding so that you can use it to grow your business without sacrificing your sanity. Whether you're just starting out or focused on scaling, we're diving into everything you need to build a profitable and sustainable online business. Let's get to it. I want to start this episode by being super crystal clear about the fact that for the most part, I am still very pro business coaching. I think there are seasons in all of our businesses where coaching can be really helpful. And I have seen firsthand over and over again how powerful and supportive and really transformative it can be. So I'm not here to tell you to fire your business coach. Now, let's talk a little bit about my journey with coaching. So recently I had my OG business coach, Erin Morgan, on the podcast. I hired her all the way back in 2016, 2017, when I was still in my 9-to-5. Worked with her for several years. She helped me go full-time in my business, reach my first six-figure year, all the things. Highly recommend going back and listening to that episode if you are considering hiring a coach. There's a lot of good nuggets in there for you. I hired Erin. I worked with her for 4 or 5 years. And then I kind of reached this point where I just didn't have anything else that I needed from her. I kept coming to our calls and saying, I'm good. Like, I got this. I'm not really struggling with anything. Like, things are kind of cruising. That was my indication that it was time to take a break from working with her. She was super supportive. Little nugget of wisdom here. If your coaches are not supportive when you tell them that you think it might be time to take a break or that you are complete working with them, that's a major red flag. So just keep that in the back of your mind. If they ever try to shame you into continuing to work together or make you feel like you can't do it on your own, that is not a good coach. So then it was probably 2 or 3 years that I ran Spect & Co. totally on my own. No coach. I was still in some mastermind type groups just for the community aspect, but no direct business coaching. When I found out I was pregnant with my daughter in 2022, I started thinking about maternity leave and how that was going to look, how I was going to continue to support my clients while also taking time off to be with my brand new baby and my family and all these things. And I just kind of couldn't see how that was possible, I guess is the right way to put it. So I hired somebody that I knew had done that and could help me build the systems in the business, hire support that I needed to get through that season of my life. So that was middle of 2022 that I hired that coach, Kelsey. And she supported me through end of pregnancy, maternity leave, postpartum, a couple of moves due to the military, and then all the way through my most recent postpartum and maternity leave experience. And as of the release of this episode, we will have just finished working together a few months ago. So I worked with her all the way through December 2025. I am here to tell you that I would likely not have survived those seasons of my life with my mental health and business still intact, if not for coaching. So when I tell you I still believe in it, I really still believe in it. Coaching has helped me leave my 9-to-5, grow my business, hire a team, support more clients, change my offers, have babies, move, do all the things, and still somehow keep my head on straight. So I just wanted to take a sec to be really clear about the fact that I am not here to tell you to fire your business coach. I'm here to tell you why I am taking a break from coaching. So, like I said, I worked with my most recent coach all the way through December 2025. I want to take you back to when I kind of started to realize that maybe it was time for a new season in my business. So from probably fall, I would say, on, I started to notice, again, similarly to when I decided to stop working with Erin, that I started to notice, similarly to when I stopped working with my first business coach, that every time that I would Voxer a question to my coach or get on a call or send a Slack message or anything like that with like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this, or what's your thoughts on that? I kind of always knew what she was going to say. So that was a cue to me that, okay, I'm not really trying to learn something from this person. I'm just really looking to them for reassurance or confirmation. And that didn't feel super great to me because it started to feel like I was second guessing myself. Like I knew what the right thing to do was, but I all of a sudden felt like I couldn't take action on something until this other person told me, yeah, thumbs up, go ahead. And that's not why I'm in business for myself. I'm in business because I want to run the show, not because I want to be looking to somebody else to run the show for me. And I think that was a big, big shift, right? Because like I said, 2 postpartum experiences in basically 2 years. There was a lot of just refiguring out who I was and what I valued and what I wanted to spend my time on and all of that stuff. And for a lot of that time, I was second guessing myself and I did need somebody to tell me I wasn't crazy or this was normal or this is a good idea or it's not a waste of my time and all of those things. But over time, that internal compass got stronger and stronger and stronger. And I reached a point where I realized, okay, I need to look to myself to know what the right answer is in my business and stop looking to somebody else. So I think that's a big key if you are working with a coach, that if you start relying on them for reassurance instead of knowledge and learning and expansion and mentorship, then it's probably a sign that you really need to work on trusting yourself more and that maybe you don't need a coach right now. Maybe you just need to build that trust muscle and show yourself that, hey, you actually are smart and you do know what you're doing and you've got this. I also have talked about this previously on the podcast, spent a lot of 2025 and a little bit of 2024 kind of rebuilding some of the frameworks in my business. I shifted to more of a strategy first model. So my processes and the way I worked with clients changed a lot. My offers got tweaked and refined. So I was doing a lot of tinkering and building and executing new ideas. And now I'm in a season where I'm done with that. I have all the things and now it's time to just go and do. And I don't really need a coach to help me go and do. I needed a coach to help me figure out how to position the Standout Brand Strategy System and how to launch my podcast and how to do all those things. But I don't have anything else like that on the horizon. So now it's time for me to kind of put my head down and execute on what I've been building over the last couple of years in working with this coach. So all of that said, you are probably thinking, oh, well, I bet you're going to save a bunch of money by not paying for a business coach in 2026, Morgan. And yes, I am. That is an added benefit, I suppose, but it really honestly was not even like a huge driving factor. However, now that I have those funds freed up, I'm trying to spend them very strategically. So 2026 is going to be a little bit of an experiment year. I am taking most of the money that I would have normally spent on coaching and instead investing them into done-for-you services that I hope are going to more directly move the needle in my business. The first 2 investments I've made are in SEO and a couple of brand photo shoots. Those will be happening later in the year. And then as the year progresses and things kind of ramp up and we see how those have panned out for me, I would love to also bring on either a podcast manager, a social media manager, some other like execution-based support. As a busy mom and business owner and somebody who has very few hours in the week to work, sometimes we get in this trap where we think, oh, we need more coaching, we need mindset, we need somebody to teach us. But ultimately it comes down to there are only so many hours in the day. So at some point, it makes more sense to spend those dollars on people to do things for you than to teach you things, right? So I don't have time to buy a course on social media and go through it and do it all myself. What I need to do is just pass it off to somebody else and let them do it for me so that it frees up my time to focus on serving my clients, marketing my business, doing all the things that have to be done by me. And I think that there are different seasons in business, right? So sometimes you are in seasons where you're gathering all the knowledge, you're learning, you're growing. And then there are seasons of doing. And like I've said, I am shifting into a season of doing. And part of that doing includes paying other people to do some of the doing for me. This makes sense for me now because my offers are finalized. My positioning is super clear. My new kind of system and model for how I work with people is fully fleshed out and built and tested. So the bottleneck isn't clarity anymore. It's not, oh, I'm not sure how I want this to look or how I want it to work or how I want to talk about it. It's capacity for implementation, right? How many clients can I take on? How much marketing content can I create? And fortunately for me, I can use money to expand my capacity. And also, side note here, I'm not the only person that I have heard this from. If you get on Threads, you'll see a post once in a while that talks about the shift from coaching and courses to done-for-you services. I don't think that coaching is going anywhere by any means. I've said that before and I'll say it again. There is always a time and a place for coaching when it's the right coach for the right reason in the right season of your business. But I think collectively we are moving away from tell me what to do and I'll do it myself to just help me actually do it. So I think for service providers going into 2026, it's going to be really interesting to see just kind of how that all shakes out. Another thing that I have learned over the last 8 or so years in business is that online business gets lonely. Like, yeah, we're on the internet and we're on Instagram stories and whatever, but ultimately we're sitting on our couch alone working. And while I am an unapologetic introvert, I still need community. And I have, unfortunately, fallen into the trap of investing in group programs that were probably not really what I needed because I was just craving that community. I didn't realize at the time that that's what I was doing, but in hindsight, it's crystal clear to me. So I started to think about, okay, coaching is not for me in this season of my life and my business, but I still want to have my people, right? I want to have somebody I can go to like bounce ideas off of or be like, hey, I'm really struggling. Do you have any ideas for this? And just feel like I have friends in the online space. Really. So that has led me to co-create 2 different peer-led masterminds. These are not paid coaching containers. They are spaces for bouncing ideas off of each other, gaining additional perspective, accountability, feeling less alone, having a community. And the reason why I want to bring this up is because I think a lot of people end up paying for coaching or masterminds or group programs, not because they need the strategy or the thing that's being taught in the program, but because they're lonely and they're craving connection and they want to find their people. And I think 2026 is the year that I say, no, thank you to that. You don't need to pay someone thousands of dollars to feel connected and supported. You can create your own community for free. So in my case, this came about because I literally posted about it on Threads, and my now friend, Amy, I was not friends with her before I made this post. We had kind of worked on a project together, but like never communicated directly, said, hey, I'm doing the same thing. Do you want to start a peer mastermind? And I said, yeah. And then I posted about it. And like 20 people said, oh my gosh, I want to join too. And it got to the point that I was like, guys, we can't have a mastermind of 20 people. So I ended up breaking it into 2. So if you ask your community, hey, does anyone want to get together once a month or once a week or whatever to support each other? People will say yes. I'm going to say it again. You can create community for free. You don't need a coach leading you. You don't need to be spending several $100s a month. If you want community, it is out there, but you have to go ask for it. It took me making that post and then Amy saying, hey, what about this crazy idea? And me being like, hey, you know what? Yeah, let's try it. And now we have a group of 5 of us in my group with her that are going to meet once a week, and we have a Slack channel and we're cheering each other on and sharing each other's offers and giving feedback and support. And it's so great. And we're not paying a dime for it. So this season for me really is about self-trust. And I've talked about this previously on the podcast that I think one of the most important skills in online business is being able to trust yourself. And that takes time and work to build. But being able to make decisions without kind of outsourcing your confidence and relying on somebody else to tell you whether or not something's a good idea, you know. If you think really hard deep down inside, you know. And I think that trusting yourself is the best thing you can do for your business. I think it's also okay to acknowledge that it's a little uncomfortable sometimes. It's going to be uncomfortable for me to not have somebody that I can turn to be like, oh no, I really messed this up, help, or I don't have any clients, help, or whatever, somebody to run to save me. But that discomfort is part of the growth. And I know about myself from the past that I need to go it alone for a little while so that I can kind of find my footing and trust myself and really step into that next level role that I feel so ready for. So I'm excited to see what happens when I stop looking to somebody else for permission and start just doing what I know works. I hope that that's going to look like more momentum, more follow through. So I am eternally grateful for coaching. I would not be where I am without it. I could not be more appreciative of the coaches who have supported me when I needed it. And I'm equally grateful that they have taught me to recognize when it's time to evolve, when it's time to go my own way, when it's time to stop using a coach as a crutch. So I would love to encourage you that you're allowed to reassess how you invest. Just because you've been working with a coach for 5 years doesn't mean you have to keep working with them next year. It is your money, it's your time, it's your emotional energy, and it is really important to be constantly evaluating where those things are going, because growth does not look like constantly adding more support. Sometimes it looks like choosing different support. Sometimes it looks like letting go of support and doing things on your own. So I'm really excited and frankly a little bit nervous about this. I will be talking lots more about it on social media. Maybe I'll come back in a few months and do an update on the podcast. But if you are in a similar season where you're considering shifting the support that you have in your business, maybe you feel like you're outgrowing a business coach and you're entering more of that execution season in your business yourself, I would love, love, love to connect with you. My Instagram DMs are always open. Thanks for tuning in to the Six Figure Brand Podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, please be sure to rate the show and leave a review on whatever app you're listening on. And as a thank you, I'll send you coffee on me. Yes, I'm serious. As a smaller show for now, you taking the time to do this makes a huge impact on how we can reach more people and how I can continue to create this content for free. When you take a screenshot of your review, follow and tag me on Instagram at Spect&Co. I'll send you a $5 Starbucks gift card. As always, don't forget to check out the show notes for any links or resources I mentioned during the episode. Thanks again for listening, and I'll catch you next week.